Good afternoon. Appreciate everyone's patience. Over the last 24 hours, it's obviously been a little bit of a whirlwind and for everyone involved, but these things do take time and they're complicated. So just appreciate that. I just wanted to say a few words before we get started about Von Miller. And obviously the past 11 years, Von's been an iconic player. He's been a franchise cornerstone for the Denver Broncos. He's accomplished just about everything you can accomplish as a player in this league. Perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl player, Super Bowl MVP, Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee, career and season sack leader, and he'll be a future Broncos Ring of Honor and a future Hall of Famer. I've always admired Von, from afar, wherever I was, as just the outstanding player. He's probably the best pass rusher of his era and really one of the best pass rushers of all time. And just being around him the last 10, 11 months or so, I have much more appreciation for Von as a player, especially as his age has increased, but really much more appreciation as Von as a person. And just seeing Von the day-to-day, in the building, the way he lights up a room and brings people together, and in the locker room, the leadership with the players, and on the field, the passion he showed. And so, I really respect Von for that. The thing that resonated the past 24 hours is just how he touched so many people in this building. And, obviously we feel good about the trade, but it wasn't a great day here. And we all miss Von already. And I don't care, the accountants and the HR department and everyone was a little down. And so it's been a tough 24 hours because he was such a big part of this building and really a big part of our community. A pillar in our community, and with his foundation, Von's vision, and all he's done for kids, and it's really truly remarkable the career that he's had here. Just on a personal note, this past Saturday, my son had a playoff football game. Bo, he's 12 years old. He had a playoff game, and so I show up to the game, and Von Miller's at the game. And I'm like, wow, okay. And he was there to see John Pagano's son play Pop Warner football, and that's just the kind of guy he is. And we were standing by Von watching the game, and 100 kids came up to him. He signed every autograph, and he offered to take selfies with every kid, and adults were coming up to him. So, this guy's a special player, special person. We're going to miss Von, but he'll always, be a Bronco. And just on behalf of everyone at the Broncos, Joe Ellis, John Elway, Vic Fangio, and really our entire building, our entire staff. I just want to thank Von for all he's meant to this organization, for all he's meant to our community, and he's always going to be a Bronco, and we just want to wish him, the very best moving forward. In regards to the trade, the trade was finalized Sunday night with Les Snead, and I really appreciate the professionalism of Les. We've done 2 trades in a week, and they have a first-class organization. I can't say enough of good things about dealing with Les. And so Monday, I met with Von. John Elway met with Von. Joe Ellis met with them, and Vic met with them. And just with my conversation, it was honest, it was open, it was emotional. We talked about Von's career and how far he's come. We talked about our current team and how much he loved our team, and we talked about the Rams and how he fits, and we really had a good conversation. But the main thing I communicated to the Von, this is a win-win, and we could have moved Von somewhere else, but we wouldn't do that. We wanted to do right by Von. We sent him to a great franchise, a team right in the thick of it, and he's really going to fit in there and really help with the second part of his career. In regards to our team, we're going to get some great capital from the Rams. Allows us to build a foundation that we've already started to build, just add to that foundation and build this thing the right way. And that's what we're going to do. Moving forward with this team, I believe in the players here. I believe in the coaches here. We're 4-4. It hasn't been perfect. We've had some ebbs. We've had some flows. We have a long way to go, but I do believe in the players. We're 4-4. Everything's in front of us. We're still in the thick of it. But yes, we do have a long way to go. Really look forward to the second part of the season, and that starts Sunday, with the Cowboys, a great football team. And with that, I'll be happy to take your questions. Oh, and I want to add one thing. We made a trade today. We traded Kerry Vincent, one of our corners. a talented kid who we really liked. We traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was for a 6th-round pick. And really, we just had a logjam at corner. And we have 3 players that are going to come off, 2 off the IR list and 1 off the PUP list, and that'll happen within the next 2 weeks. So, we just had to make a move, and so that's a good problem to have.
George, you get a 2nd rounder and a 3rd rounder for Vaughn. What kind of flexibility does that give you once the offseason starts and even on draft night?
Yeah, it gives us a lot of flexibility. We have 11 picks in this draft, so we love it. It gives us flexibility to go get a player. It gives us flexibility to move up in the draft, move back. We really can do whatever we want, and that's what you always want to do going into a draft. So we like where we're at.
Were you thinking you weren't going to be able to re-sign Vaughn after the season, or you wouldn't want to? What was the impetus?
No, I mean, that's a factor. Obviously, he's in the last year of his deal, and there's uncertainty whether we could sign him. We would obviously would like to have Vaughn come back, but there was uncertainty. We didn't know, and those things are complicated, as you know. So that was a layer. It wasn't the only thing, but it was a part of it.
George, you said the trade was finalized on Sunday night. When did it originate? When did those discussions
Yeah, so probably late last week, and it nothing, I would say Friday, had some in-depth conversations with Les, continued Saturday, and then really, Sunday night we were on the phone quite a bit, and that's when we, finalized the deal.
Did any other teams get in on the bidding there?
We had teams call and that were interested, and like I said earlier, we wanted to do right by Vaughn. He's done right by us for 11 years. We were going to do right. Otherwise, we weren't going to trade him. We were going to keep him.
And you made it worth it by you throw in a big chunk on the money. Was that to make it make sense for you guys rather than wait for a compensatory pick if he did sign up?
Yeah, I mean, it made sense for both sides. They needed the money, and we were fortunate to have the resources here, because of John and Joe Ellis and everyone. So we were able to do that. And so it was a win-win for the Rams, win for us. They didn't have the cash or the cap, and we did, and that's because of the prior regime with John, and we were able to have those resources.
How much did the state of the team have to do, before getting? I guess the trading deadline used to be 2 weeks earlier. Would you have made the deal 2 weeks earlier? And how about the state of the team now as far as the message you sent to the locker room?
It's a hypothetical. 2 weeks ago, did it play a factor? It may have played a little bit of a factor. You have to know where you are. But I still believe in this team. We're 4-4. People think we're 2-6. We haven't played great football, and we're 4-4. So I'd like to think we're going to play better, and we're going to get in the thick of it.
Malik Reed, Jonathan Cooper, Bradley Chubb's pending return. How much did those guys, the confidence in them play into this?
We have a lot of confidence in those guys. I mean, you watched them on Sunday, against the Redskins. Malik, I think, had 2 sacks, and Weatherly had 1. Jonathan Cooper's coming into his own, and then we have Bradley Chubb coming. After the, hopefully after the bye, he'll be rolling. He's working really hard, and look forward to getting him in the mix as well. We got Mintz on IR. We got a kid named Aaron Patrick. If you watch him on special teams, this kid's he's a freak. He can run. He's learning how to play that position. So we do like our depth there.
George, you had other veterans on expiring deals still here. Did you come close to any trades today?
Well, other than the one we made, we talked to a lot of teams. We talked to everyone, and we had teams calling some of our other players, but they just didn't make sense, and we like those players, and so it had to be something significant for us to make a move.
George, the trade you made a week ago, Kenny Young, Stephen Weatherly, what did you like about those 2 guys?
Right. We just think we needed, obviously we had injuries. I think we're down, at one point in the Cleveland game, we're down 8 linebackers, so that's not favorable. But obviously watching Kenny Young, this guy has a lot of juice, and I feel like we need a little more juice. He can run, he's athletic. The Sunday before we traded for him, I think he had 7 tackles, a sack, a TFL, and if you watch him the other day, he does cause some disruption, and he can run. He's going to keep getting better. I've been around, Stephen Weatherly. We drafted him in the 7th round out of Vanderbilt. He's just long. He's athletic. He can run. He gives us a little more length on the edge and just gives us a little, a better wave, and that's what you want at outside backer. You want to wave guys in, give offensive tackles a different look, and so I think he'll be a really good rotational guy. And for a guy who's 6'5" and 250, whatever he is, he can play special teams, and that's really important.
You talk about still being in the thick of it. What have you thought of the job that Vic's done this season coaching the team?
No, I just want to say one of the reasons I took this job is because of Vic Fangio, and it hasn't been easy this week. This year with Vic, we've had a lot of adversity to overcome. And the thing I like about Vic, he stayed the course and he has not flinched. And it's kept everyone in this building even keel, and Vic just works. And so I'm really proud of the way he's gone through this. I've been around others, that have folded and the building's up and down, but Vic is very steady. Again, we've suffered a lot of different things, and he stayed the course. We are 4-4. It feels like we're 1-7, but we are 4-4, and we're right in the thick of it.
What about regard to confidence in Pat Shermer and the offense? Because, I mean, in this league, it's almost impossible if you're not scoring
Right.
25 points a game or somewhere near that.
Yeah, we need to be better on offense. Pat knows that. We all know that. Our players know that. Pat's had a lot of success in this league, and I believe in Pat, but we do need to play better. We just don't seem to have a lot of rhythm. We're not good in the critical downs, critical areas of the field. We were this past weekend, but we need to run the ball better. There's a lot of things, but they're working on it, and Pat has had a lot of success, so I do believe in Pat.
What have you made of Sertan so far, and also Javonte Williams?
Yeah, Pat, I've been really impressed. He's a pro, and he keeps getting better every week. I think he's going to be one of the better corners in the league. I haven't wavered off that. I needed to tackle better in a few games. You saw last week he improved, but he just keeps getting better, keeps getting more confident. For a rookie, the guy is just, he doesn't get frazzled, and that's what I like about him.
George, when you trade
Oh,
players,
I'm sorry, Javonte, ditto. This kid is something else, and we need to create more space for him, in the run game, but he's just a pro. He's steady. He's a playmaker. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's a really good in pass protection. He's everything we'd hoped. And we need to do a better job of getting him, more both our backs, getting him lanes. And I thought we did a better job last week.
George, when you trade players for picks, some people start to think rebuild. Do you think the Broncos are rebuilding or approaching a rebuild, and how would you respond?
No, we're not. We're not approaching a rebuild. We're just trying to do it the right way. And sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and we want to build a foundation here. We have a lot of good players here. That's not fair to Justin Simmons. That's not fair to Teddy Bridgewater. That's not fair to some of our core guys to rebuild. I think we have enough players here. Now, do we need to continue to build the foundation to get where we need to go? Certainly. And we will continue to do that, and that's what we've done with some of these trades.
George, what's your evaluation of Teddy Bridgewater through the first 8 games?
Yeah, Teddy's done a lot of good things. Obviously, there's a lot of things he needs to work on, but we need to play better around Teddy. We need to protect him better. We need to run the ball better. We need to be better on defense. We need to get out. We need to get off the field on defense. But special teams, we had a mistake a week on special teams for the first 5 games. So we need to play better around Teddy. He needs to play better. He knows that. But he has done, he's a calming force. He's provided great leadership, especially when you lose 4 games in a row. Things can go off the rails pretty quick, but the steady leadership of Teddy and Vic, they've kind of kept us together.
George, what would you say to fans who have said things quietly, not so quietly with some of the no-shows, and don't share your confidence about Pat Shermer, and don't share your confidence about Vic Fangio, and would like to see maybe these picks converted to an upgraded quarterback? What would you say to them?
Yeah, no, I appreciate our fans, and I appreciate, I still think we have some of the best fans. I appreciate our fans who are at that game, but I understand it. I have a son. He didn't appreciate that we traded Von Miller. He wouldn't. He's still not talking to me. So I get it, and I understand the emotion in it. I'm in it every day. I see what goes on day to day with our coaches, with our players. We were 3-0 at one time. Everyone thought we were the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's very fragile in this league. You lose one, they can add up. We've had we've unfortunate, we've had a lot of injuries. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse, but we are getting some guys back. And despite everything that's happened to our football team, we're 4-4, and not what we wanted, but I do think we'll continue to improve.
George, Noah Fant on the radio today said he didn't want to be traded, and I don't know if there were calls for him or not, but when you hear that from a young player that might be in the conversation teams are calling about, does that give you confidence that you don't make a move, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's 24 years old. He's really talented. I'm not sure why we'd trade him. I'm not sure why that's even in the conversation. So we like Noah. Noah needs to play better, like a lot of players, but this kid's really talented. He wants to be great, and I think he will be one day.
George, would you say all of what he's done down the road, Teddy Brown starting deal, how much of this is to make a move decision at quarterback?
You know, not necessarily for core. We want flexibility, and when you have 11 picks, you have a lot of flexibility to do whatever you want, whether that's a quarterback, whether that's a linebacker, a pass rusher. You know, we do have flexibility now, and that's what you want. You don't want your hands cuffed, and we won't. So we'll be aggressive. You know that.
Do you talk a lot with Vic about how Teddy's playing and any discussion about Drew Lock?
Well, yeah, we talk about our team every day, and we talk, with Vic and I one-on-one, and then we meet as a staff. I meet with all the coaches, and we feel like Teddy's our quarterback, and Teddy's our leader, and if we can play better around Teddy, we'll get good results.
George, it was another thing that Noah said on the radio today. He confirmed that there was a little bit of this locker room rift regarding Von Miller's Halloween party, annual Halloween party. Number one, I wanted to know when you and Vic were aware of it, and for the record, can you state whether that played any role in his departure?
Absolutely not. We have a great locker room. I think we have a lot of great guys in the locker room. I'm not aware of any rift. I'm in that locker room. I walked through it, talked to a lot of players. I know Vaughn had a party. I think guys had some fun, which is nice. Vaughn likes to bring guys together, and I think it really helps with the morale. I'm not aware of anything else, but I do know we have a really good locker room.
And then a second thing, given all the glowing superlatives you used to describe Vaughn and what he meant to the franchise, to the city, et cetera, was there any hesitation about trading him away right now?
No doubt. This was not an easy. I didn't sleep Sunday night. This was not easy. This guy's an icon. He can still rush the passer, but you just have to make, it's a win-win, like I said, and you have to make the best decision for your franchise moving forward, and we just felt this was at this time.
Sometimes when you trade a player of that ilk, it sends the message maybe we're surrendering on the season. What was Vic's message and/or your message to these players after you move a player like that?
Yeah, I met with the leadership group. I met with all our captains, and I just told them I believed in them. And I believe in the players that have to replace Vaughn. And you saw that yesterday. But this is not a fire sale. We believe in all these guys. We're 4-4. Everything's in front of us. And so we had a long conversation. I think they're all in. I know they're all in. And, we traded one player. He's a great player. But we believe in the guys behind him. We believe in this roster. We do need to play better. Everyone needs to know that. There is an urgency. We're just not, we haven't played great. And we need to play better. But the fact of the matter is we're 4-4 and we're still in it. And so, I believe in these guys, and I believe they can turn it around.
George, did you have any conversations with the Texans about Deshaun Watson leading into the deadline?
I did not.
How many other teams called on Vaughn, and were any of those serious?
We had a handful of teams, 2 others. And really, we just didn't think they were the right fit for Vaughn. We really wanted to do right by him, and we wanted to send him to a winning franchise with a great head coach and with a top-notch defense, and we were able to accomplish that.
George, you mentioned that you and others in the organization sat down with Vaughn on Monday. Was he told prior to that this was a possibility?
He was not, and I'm the one who told him, and he was really surprised, and it was really emotional. It was for me, for Vaughn. That's not easy. And I've talked about, releasing players at the 53-man cut. When you have to tell someone like Von Miller that we're trading him, that's the hardest thing I've had to do. And so they're human. He has his family. This is his community, and so I don't take that lightly. And so it was a really hard conversation.
George, it said on the wire today, Noah tested positive for the COVID, and that's the second player in 2 weeks. Any concerns there that the COVID strain is coming back through the locker room, and any precautions?
Yeah, we're taking all the precautions. There's always concern. We have great people in charge of that, and so we're going through all the proper protocols. But yeah, you're always a little concerned, Mike.
George,
Final two, Sean, and then Ryan.
Yeah, real quick, George, just to clarify, you wanted to make sure Vaughn was in a winning culture with a good defense and an opportunity for that for his career. Did you not see that here, given your support of Pat, given your support of Vic?
Yeah.
That was a better situation for Vaughn. You don't see that for this current team?
We do. They're in a. We're still trying to get to where they're at.
Okay.
We're a younger team. I think we're going to get there. It may take a little more time. I just think they're up and rolling. We may be by the end of the season. But if we had to trade them, that was the type of place where we wanted to trade them.
Last one, Ryan.
George, Vaughn was the face of the franchise. Now that he's moved on, who in that locker room do you see as somebody that can become a bigger leader and lead this room?
Yeah, I mean, it's yet to be determined. I think we have some really good leaders, whether it's Justin and, Teddy and Cortland Sutton. And I think we have some good leaders. And like I told them, this is your team now. This is your team. Vaughn was here. It was his team. Now it's your team. And you lead these young players. And they, I think they're excited.
Thank you very much, George.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.